Adrienne here. It is Truck Week here on NewsNation. We are very excited about it. And the daily life of a long-haul truck driver often means long hours behind the wheel. So many hours, in fact, that a truck driver drives so many miles every year that they could circumnavigate the earth, go around it 5 whole times. That comes out to about 125,000 miles a year. That may sound like a lot, may sound like a little to you, but for some perspective, a regular person, the average person, drives just over 14,000 miles a year. And all of this travel means really long hours for truck drivers. The average truck driver drives for 60 to 70 hours a week. That's how long they're on the road. That's the equivalent of 300 days a year. And if you've ever been on a long road trip, you know that spending hours on the highway without breaks can make you tired and make driving so much harder. That is why truck drivers are legally required, after every 14 hours of driving, they have to stop. They have to then take a 10-hour break. Although I am sure that most of them are probably wishing that they had a bed that was as comfy as this one. And this daily lifestyle can have a significant impact on a truck driver's health. The CDC found that long-haul truck drivers are at a greater risk for diabetes and for heart disease. And as we move forward into our Truck Week coverage, trucking is America's economic backbone. Chances are, whatever you're eating for breakfast right now, your kids' backpacks, even the car you'll drive them to school in, it was delivered to you by a truck. Nationwide, approximately 3.5 million truckers zigzag the country to keep our lives moving. They're a vital part of the supply chain. But now, staffing shortages have led to a national recruiting effort for new drivers. Adrienne was able to go to XPO Logistics to see what's the newest class of short-haul drivers and what they're in for. Take a look.
Is there a mirror to check your makeup?
There is not.
Oh!
What better way to get an education on truck driving than to jump in the cab myself?
Always keep your eyes moving. Always give yourself space. Always give yourself an out.
When you get underneath and look, you need to see this guy right here.
Ed Cook is a truck driver and instructor at XPO Logistics, a freight transportation company that pays students to learn to drive these huge big rigs. A 7-week-long course includes the basics of operating an 18-wheeler.
You're responsible for the motoring public safety, not just yours and not just XPO's. You're responsible for everybody's safety that you're coming in contact with.
And a lesson in keeping cool when road rage is a reality.
But imagine it's probably something to teach them about temperament.
Once you're here, this is your office now. This is home. You're not going to work. You're not going to a meeting. This is it. You're at work. So generally, your temperament is not as bad as it is as most drivers in cars.
XPO employs some 12,000 truck drivers across North America, but they need more. The American Trucking Association estimates that nationwide, companies need to fill about 80,000 open truck driver positions.
The driver shortage, is that impacting you guys at all?
We are able to get a lot of people from other careers, other trades into the trucking industry.
In fact, the company guarantees a job offer to every student who completes their training.
The job security is what brought me here.
Rosie Hayden now works as a driver full-time, and she's still able to make it home every night for dinner with her daughter.
The money and the different opportunities traveling the world and stuff is what brought me to the company.
And Rosie stands out. Less than 8% of truck drivers in the U.S. are women.
I don't feel like I'm at a disadvantage. If anything, it's an advantage. Me being a female brings to the company is opportunity to show other females that they can do the same thing.
I even got the opportunity to get in the driver's seat myself.
Can I actually get behind the wheel?
Well, of course you could.
Yay! Okay, let's do it.
And we're ready to hit the road.
You ready? Oh, God. That's louder than I thought. Okay, see ya. Apparently, I had a lot of fun with that. I want to welcome the president of XPO's LTL division, Mario Harrick. Mario, thank you so much for being with us. Now, I know that one of XPO's primary business units is LTL, or less than truckload. What does that mean, and why is that so important?
You got it, Adrienne. First, thanks so much for having me on this morning. So our business, we're one of the largest carriers, truck carriers in North America. And the less than truckload means that whenever, as a shipper, you don't have enough freight to fill a full trailer of goods, you move your freight with a less than truckload carrier. And this is where we would pick up certain pallets of freight or smaller shipments, and we consolidate them in our locations. And we have roughly 290 locations across the country. We consolidate your freight with other customers' freight, get it to a destination, and do a local delivery. And today we have more than 12,000 drivers on our team, about 8,000 tractors, 45,000 trailers, and 290 locations to move the freight for our customers.
That's pretty amazing. How quickly have you been able to staff up, especially in light of the trucker driver shortage?
Well, labor shortages have been an issue for many industries. And for us in the trucking industry, it's all about drivers. Drivers move goods for customers. And I really want to first take a small moment here to thank all of our drivers across the country and all the drivers of all the carriers, because these folks have kept the economy moving. Everything from what we eat to what we wear to the chair we sit on all came on a truck. So what we have done on our end to counter the shortage of drivers in the industry, when it comes to benefits and the benefits we offer our drivers, starting off with each one of our drivers get to sleep home every single day. So they get to go back and spend time with their family and loved ones as opposed to being on the road for days at a time. We also offer competitive pay. Many of our drivers earn more than 6 figures compensation. In the Chicago area where you visited, many of our drivers are typically on base income alone are north of $83,000 a year in terms of overall compensation. And also a lot of great benefits that are very competitive in the industry as a whole. We also operate our own driver schools. We have more than 130 locations where we run driver schools, and we recruit folks who want to get into the industry to be able to earn their CDL license with us, that truck driving license with us, and be able to move freight for XPO.
How has the supply chain affected your business?
But we're seeing the demand we're seeing in the industry as a whole. Today we have 2 broad categories of customers. Industrial customers, so these are folks who are either manufacturing products, moving all the way from auto companies to industrial manufacturing plants. And that economy as a whole is still very much in recovery. So we're seeing very strong demand from customers in that area. And then we also have exposure to the consumer, where we help retailers move freight into distribution facilities, into stores as well. And we've all seen the high demand on retail, especially on the e-commerce side, which is also increasing the amount of demand we're seeing in our business.
One more question for you. What would you like America to know about truck drivers that we might not know, just based on lifestyle and the sacrifices made to actually drive a truck like these?
Yeah, being a truck driver, it's a pretty tough job. Yeah, you are on the road constantly. You are driving a very big rig down the road, so safety is incredibly important. You're picking up freight from customer locations. You're delivering freight. So it's a pretty tough job. And I would say for anybody who's listening, if you see a truck driver at a truck stop, thank them for all the work they are doing to keep our economy moving as a whole. And for those of you who want to contemplate a career in trucking, it's a great career to be in. You get competitive wages. In our case, you get to sleep at your home every single night. You can earn upwards of 6 figures overall compensation. And by the way, we would pay for your tuition if you go through one of our schools to earn your CDL license and become a truck driver.
Amazing. What an opportunity. And I know we enjoyed meeting some of those truck drivers at your company who were extremely pleased with their decision to join your staff. Mario, thank you so much for being with us. Continued success.
Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. This is only the beginning of Truck Week right here on NewsNation. You can watch special reports throughout the week. We're also going to have an hour-long special this Friday, 8/7 Central, taking you behind the wheel. Still ahead, an update to a story we've been following, the bird flu outbreak. It's spreading to some zoos here in the U.S. What officials are doing to protect the